Well, hi there everyone and welcome. Today's recipe is for another meal in a jar. It's for American goulash. Now, I already have a recipe for American goulash up on my channel, but I did it in the form of a YouTube short, so it's not quite 60 seconds long, and it's a very simple, straightforward recipe. Today's recipe is a new and improved version of that because I am going to use quite a few of the Thrive Life sauces to make a very flavorful dish. Now, if you don't have the Thrive Life sauces, I'll talk about what you could use instead. This recipe is super tasty. It's one of my favorites from the school cafeteria. Did y'all have goulash on Wednesdays at your school cafeteria? I just loved it. We had pizza Fridays and then goulash on Wednesdays, and oh my gosh, it's just comfort food for me. Let me show you how I put it together. I'm going to use a quart-sized jar because I wanted 3 or 4 servings out of this. Of course, you could scale this recipe down if you're just cooking for 1 or 2 and put it in a pint-sized jar. I'm going to start with some elbow macaroni at the bottom of my jar, about 6 ounces or so. And then I'm only using half a cup of our ground beef that I pulsed in the blender, but you could definitely use more if you like more beef flavor. I like to include the cheddar cheese. It's fantastic, and I always pulse it in the blender. And then there's just a variety of vegetables. If you don't like those vegetables, leave them out. There's different recipes for American goulash. Some of them include corn and others don't. I like the corn in there. I'm using a good bit of onions. Okay, here are some of the sauce powders. The Espagnole sauce is thick beef gravy. It's so good. But if you don't have that, I've got a recipe on my channel for a copycat version of it. I like using the tomato sauce versus just the tomato powder just for more flavor. I'm adding cheese sauce to this because yum, it's cheese sauce. It's so good. You don't have to have it though because you're already putting cheddar in there. Some people don't even include sour cream in their goulash, and that's fine. You can leave it out if you don't like it, but I like the creaminess. These are just straightforward, regular old spices: onion powder, garlic powder, salt, pepper, paprika, and a little bit of cayenne will give you just a bit of spice. But a lot of people include Worcestershire sauce in their recipes. I am using some soy sauce powder today. And hey, if you don't have the powder, just write yourself a note on your jar to add some fresh soy sauce when you go to prepare it. I like adding the bay leaves here, and then if you're going to store it for probably more than a year, go ahead and put in an oxygen absorber. Isn't that just a lovely jar? I think those layers are gorgeous. I don't say this enough. This is true. If you don't have all of these ingredients in the freeze-dried form, don't worry about it because freeze-dried food pairs beautifully with fresh food. Just add fresh when you make it. For instance, if you don't have our tomatoes, then write yourself a note and add a can of stewed tomatoes or something like that. It's really easy to mix and match and pair fresh with the freeze-dried. And when you're ready to prepare it, just get out a large skillet and you're going to add 4.5 cups of water to this. 4.5 was perfect for me. If you see the end product and think, yeah, that's not saucy enough, then go ahead and add about 5 cups. You'll want to give this a really good stir because there are lots of sauce powders in there that need to make friends with that water. And then you'll just go ahead and turn your heat on, probably a medium high or so, because you want to bring this up to a boil. It took me maybe between 5 and 10 minutes for mine to come to a boil. I stirred it every once in a while. Remember, it's got pasta in there, it's got cheese in there, and those will tend to want to stick. So just make sure you're stirring from the bottom every once in a while. After you reach a boil, turn down your heat to probably a medium, somewhere around a medium. I think I ended up at 4.5 out of 10 on my stove. I wanted to continue the boil, so somewhere around a medium. You're going to boil this for about somewhere between 12 and 15 minutes. and stir it every 3 or 4 minutes. And you'll notice as you do this, every time you stir, the macaroni noodles will have plumped up more. They will have absorbed more of that sauce. The sauce will be getting thicker and thicker, and eventually you'll just get to a point where you think, yeah, that's about right. And for me, that point was when I was looking at a dry skillet in between my stirs. When you get to about that point, that's when you can test it and make sure your macaroni noodles are tender. Go ahead and give it a taste test. You're going to check for the tenderness of the pasta as well as for adjustments needed in your seasonings. For me, the seasonings were spot on and the pasta was good and tender. This is not a dish that you want al dente. You want this nice and soft. I set it to the side, and after about 10 minutes, this is what the goulash is like. Now that's what I was talking about earlier. If that's too dry for you, then you can add another half cup of water or so, and it'll give you some more sauce. But I really like it like this. The sauce will be a lot more red if you don't include the sour cream powder, but I like the sour cream in it, so mine has kind of an orange tint to it. Oh, isn't that just pretty? Doesn't that look like comfort food to you? I love a good American goulash. We always called it goulash, but evidently there's Hungarian goulash, which is quite different. So I just wanted y'all to know this is not the Hungarian version of it. Obviously, it's just my Americanized version, but it is really yummy. The green peppers in there are delicious. The tomato dices, I love the sweet corn, that just pop of crunchy sweetness in there is so good. And I do like to top it with some extra cheddar cheese or Colby Jack, I think is what I added. It's just a really nice, comforting dish. We really like it. I hope y'all like it too. Okay guys, thank y'all so much for watching. I will include my full recipe as well as my shopping link down in the description box below this video, just in case you want to pick up any of these Thrive Life freeze-dried ingredients. I hope y'all have a great day. God bless you. And until next time, y'all take care and keep thriving.